Hi there, it's Liz from Eliza Rose Coaching, and today I am chatting with Anna Edwards from Anna Marie Design, and she is going to tell us about her ballroom dancing days, and now she does beautiful design dresses, and some experiences that she had about her weight during her dancing days, and some experiences that she had with that. So, hi Anna, how are you going?
I'm good, thank you. It's lovely to be here.
Excellent. So tell us about Anna Marie Design and your ballroom dancing. It sounds exciting, and I had a look at your website. Beautiful, beautiful designs.
Thank you. Yeah, second most neglected Facebook page ever, other than my other one. And I'm busy doing the doing, not writing about it. So I started costume design and things about 14 years ago, after a number of years teaching, and it was basically following this passion and that passion and putting them together, and it was one of those wonderful situations that happened organically. I essentially put the word out that I'm sewing, and I got inundated, and it hasn't stopped since, which is really cool. And one of the things I think that made me successful with it is because I dance, I know what it's like to wear the costumes. I understand the insecurities, the body image stuff, the toxic environment that you're often in.
Wow.
Dancing is gorgeous and glamorous, but it's not always healthy underneath it all. And I think essentially I'm making the dresses, but it was more about empowering people and helping them to feel their best self and put their best foot forward. I knew how hard they worked because I was training alongside them, and it's very hard to go out and put yourself on show, up for criticism and judgment, which is what you're doing in competition, if you're feeling self-conscious. And dancing especially, this is dance sport. It's a very critical industry. I know some wonderful people in the industry, but generally the body image stuff is pretty harsh. If you're a size 6, that's good. If you're an 8, you're a bit curvy and you could do with losing a few kilos. By the time you're a size 10, you're straight out obese. So if you're a 12 or a 14, it's like,
wow,
nasty. Yeah. So yeah, that brings in a lot of insecurities, a lot of food issues, a lot of can you give me boobs? Can you cover up my boobs? Can you make my bum look, everyone tells me I'm arsey. It's like this big, and they're not. It's hard because it's not even real things, but for the person in the outfit, it is a real thing because that's the programming and the story. So it's helping them get past that and feel confident in their clothes as much as actually making a garment that fits. So it's been really interesting process, and it's fun and it's creative and all that sort of thing too. But the emotional coaching is a huge part of fittings and making something for someone so that they feel good and they feel special and can perform. So yeah.
So there would be quite an art to designing the dress to flatter those bits, wouldn't there?
Yeah. The good old distract and divert. Look over there, not here, but it's even I've got clients that were always held up as you had to look like so and so. They were the ideal fit. Even just my elbows are too bony. Cover up my elbows. I can't have a sleeveless dress because I'm so skinny. I've got no boobs. Of course you've got no boobs. You've got no body fat. So it's
wow,
it's not necessarily weight. It's that self-perception, and the stuff that comes in on you, and not impervious to it myself. So understood, yeah.
So there's a lot of psychological damage that goes on from the other participants, because if they attack your psyche, then that can really have an effect on how you dance at the time.
Yeah, it's
Wow.
it's I don't know if you've seen the movie Strictly Ballroom. Um, I saw it for the first time when it came out in the 90s, and I hadn't ever done ballroom dancing. I was like, oh my God, that music's so much fun and it's awesome. It's a shame that the characters are a bit caricaturish.
Yeah.
And then I got involved in dance sport, and I met the people that the movie's based on. And no, they're not caricatures. It's almost a documentary. That's pretty full
Wow.
on. That's really funny. Yeah, so it's been good fun, and I really enjoyed my time in it. But there was some work to undo some of the headspace stuff, and some challenges along the way. Yeah.
So did you have any support or anything during that time to help you with the psychological part?
Oh, my fellow tormented dancers.
Right. Right.
There were a couple of us that. So a couple of my friends were also pretty sensitive energetically, which is part of my issue with my weight, taking things on, and they also had issues with weight. So it was good to just have that camaraderie of in the change room. Someone's like, oh my God, da 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 da. Someone just said such and such. Just like, oh, that's fucked. No, you're not. Put it in perspective, get it context, and being able to debrief like that. But yeah, there's not a lot of form unless you go out and seek it. Yeah, no, there's
Right.
unhealthy patterns and relationships with other people. Oh, just carbs, or just da da da, or do keto. So I mean, I've tried every diet under the sun to try and keep my weight to where it should be.
That was my next question. That would be,
Yeah.
so because you would do a lot of exercise, so you probably don't need it so much to change, do extra of that. But controlling the eating would probably be quite a huge thing.
It's the challenge is having enough food fuel the activity and the
Yeah.
amount of exercise you're doing without, because you can't dance if you're fatigued. And this is any elite sports person, you train 15, 20 hours a week. You got to fuel that somehow, and finding that balance between enough fuel to keep going and not gain weight, and also have enough muscle mass to be strong enough but not be bulky, because you have to look like a 12-year-old girl, which I clearly don't. Yeah, so that's been interesting, and just the perception expectation that with the 12-year-old girl, you have ballerinas, same, they're just waifs. If you, and a ballroom dress is pretty unforgiving. Like if you are carrying extra anywhere, it shows up. You can't hide it. And everyone who looks good on the floor, they're like in real life they're looking a little emaciated. It's just, and it messes with your head. It really does. So yeah, but that's okay. You come out the other end.
So you said to me that there was a few times in your life where you've really fluctuated a lot with your weight.
Yeah.
Do you can you pinpoint some triggers that may have caused those weight changes?
Yes, I can. And one of the things that I found or felt a bit isolated in with that is, my whole social circle is on a permanent diet. That's fine. Everyone's like, oh, put on weight, cut your carbs, or do whatever. But for me, my weight issue was much more emotional and energetic, I would say, than input and output of calories. And the traditional view is that, oh, you eat less, you'll lose weight, or do more exercise, you'll lose weight.
Yes.
That wouldn't work. And what I was finding, if I got pressured about my weight, I would usually gain more. I would eat less, or I would exercise more, or I would get in a state of, oh God, I've got to, feeling the pressure, I've got to do something about it. I would try and do something about it. And I put on 3 kilos. What the? It's like, fuck, this is not cool. Conversely, if something had happened and everything was going smoothly and work was going well and I was feeling good and empowered and confident and happy, I've shrunk. What's happened? Yeah, like I would just lose weight, and I wouldn't have changed what I ate. I wouldn't have changed my daily, my weekly regime. That was exactly the same, but my weight would just fall off, and I wouldn't know where it went. Which
who cares? As long as it's gone.
Yeah, exactly. But that only works for it was only working for me when it went in one direction, but I was completely baffled when it went in the other. And to up and down. And I've been everything from 53 kilos to 93 kilos over the last 15 years. And when I really started to struggle with my weight in the last few years, because I'm still fairly curvy for me at the moment, was when my dad got really sick, and I had my business that I was running. I was dancing. I was flying. I lived in Melbourne. My parents were in Tassie, and I was flying interstate every couple of weeks to visit my dad. Every week they were saying it's his last week, So every time I said goodbye, I was saying goodbye in case I was saying goodbye, and that went on for about 9 months, and I put on about 5 kilos.
Wow!
And I didn't care because I had bigger things to worry about. But meanwhile, at dancing, where everyone who's oblivious to any life pressure, they're like, but it just, I hadn't changed anything, just the stress of it. I was like holding everything, and I just they just got more of me, everything's energy, and I was holding on to this stress and this tension, and it was like I just got bigger. And then a couple of months after that, we found out my dad passed away, which was none too pleasant. Rough couple of months after that, and then we found out my mum had cancer. So I basically went, well, I'm not doing what I did last year. That was insane, and she had some complications. Found that she may not have had long, and I was like, okay, I'm there. So I had my staff take over the shop and went down to Tassie, and my mum, let's say she's the most stubborn woman I've ever met, decided that no, she wasn't going to go yet, so she lasted for 18 months. And I'm very honoured and blessed to have had that time with her, and it was interesting how I was there as her carer, but Mum was fiercely independent. So really what I was doing was cleaning on the sly whenever she left the room, and cooking as subtly as possible. She didn't want to be looked after, but the main thing I was doing was holding space, and holding space for her, holding space for the rest of the family and the visitors, and basically being like a human battery for her in a lot of respects. And my weight just went like I put on about 20 kilos in 18 months. And even Mum was saying, I don't understand why you're putting on weight, because I see what you're eating. And I was eating like a bird. My sister, who's a size 6, would come down and eat like 8 times more. Like, it's not fair. Meanwhile, I'm just growing.
And this is what people don't.
Yeah,
this is what people don't get. It's not about the diet and exercise. It's the emotions, and it's, as you say, the energy.
Yeah, and the same thing happened to my brother.
Oh, really?
So in the last 2 years, so in the time since Mum's gone, we've both just gone,
Wow.
and both shed about 20 kilos. Because
That's
he
amazing.
was the other, my sister was interstate, and my brother and I were the ones who were holding space for Mum and, doing this propping up energetically. And it's, incredible. And for me, like, I kind of knew that my weight went with my emotions and how that, but this was just such a, and then as soon as I released, um, as soon as I emotionally released the need to hold the space,
Right.
I deflated.
Wow.
Yeah.
You literally let it go.
Literally let go of the need to hold that space, and my body just released the stuff.
That's
And
amazing.
yeah, and I went back to dancing, and there was an element of, okay, well, I'm not going back to dancing looking like this. So I did get back into exercise, and I got back into, but it wasn't that. Like there's an element of doing more exercise, but it wasn't just. It was. I was still, the whole time I'd been exercising, the whole time I'd been eating well, but there was just this incredible release. And even lately, I've given up dancing, and I've retired finally. And in the couple of months since, I've continued to lose weight, and I've stopped exercising, and I've lost my weight.
That goes against what most people believe. You have to exercise, even if you want to just be healthy. You have to exercise. Well, yeah, no,
Well,
I'll prove you wrong.
I do things I'm active, and I do things for enjoyment, but I'm not doing that 15, 20 hours a week of training, because
Yeah.
which is
That's
different
what
thing.
that's what I try to impress upon people, and it's not. I don't promote a sedentary lifestyle. I
Yeah.
do at the moment because I've got a point to prove, but I don't. Oh, and it's working. I'm proving the point that it's not about diet and exercise at all. But I'm not promoting a sedentary lifestyle. People think, oh, you're against exercising and you're against, healthy food and stuff. I still eat a salad because sometimes I like it and it goes with the meal that I want to have.
And it's
But
good for
I
you.
don't eat a salad to get to a certain, health point of health. And I don't,
Yeah.
and I want to encourage people to go out and do things that they enjoy.
Yeah.
And if it's exercise, fabulous. If it's, if they feel like going for a run, sometimes I look at people running and go, oh, that actually looks quite fun. And then I realize that maybe I need another wine or something, because that's thinking. So, but just to have fun, because there's so many fun things that you can do that are energetic, but as long as you're not doing them for exercise, that's what I promote.
Yeah, and I think for me, when I first started ballroom dancing, it was fun. It was social, and it was getting out, and it was like, oh my God. And then my competitive side took over, and got a bit serious, and it stopped being so much fun. And it became work. But there's even just what I'm eating now. It's because, like, I eat well most of the time. I did have some M&Ms earlier today, but I mainly eat veggies and salad because I feel better, if that's what I eat. I'm vegetarian, but it's because I feel heavy when I eat meat.
Right.
Not because it's bad or, anything. My body goes, if I have steak or chicken. So if I eat carrot and eggplant and tofu and beans and rice and quinoa, I go, oh, off we go. And I'm literally full of beans, and I'm good to go. Which is a very different headspace to the restricted. If you have this, you can't have that. And if I ate a chocolate, I wouldn't have lunch, and all this sort of stuff for years of.
That's insane.
Of dysfunctional, pressured eating. And it's very nice to be not doing that anymore, frankly. Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
great. So you, so moving forward, do you still feel that you need to lose a little bit? Is that what you're saying?
Um,
You don't worry about it too much.
I'm not too worried about it. It's actually not so much the weight, it's when I'm happy and in my fullness and eating well and being active and doing active for enjoyment, then I think my natural happy stable weight is a bit lighter than it is now. But
Right.
that's not the same as trying to be smaller and squash myself into a thing so I don't take up so much space in the world.
So
So
what do you do for fun?
I
What
dance.
makes you
I love dancing.
feel,
I couldn't
hey?
do it. Dancing. I'm not me when I'm not dancing. So, but I've discovered open floor and conscious dance, which is they put music on and you do whatever you like. It's like dancing around the lounge room with the music turned up, but with other people doing the same thing, doing whatever they like, and that was very confronting for someone who's been a trained dancer. What do you mean no one's watching me and evaluating me and I can do whatever I like? But now I've got this swing. It's like, oh my God, I feel alive. This is so good. And I love yoga and anything that's got me like anti-gravity yoga, the hammocks. That's so much fun. I love spinning in space, and I'd love to get into acro or circus or silks or something like that, but haven't yet. It's on the list of things to explore. Yeah, but it's yeah, anything with fluid movement and being airborne.
I wish I was a fish sometime. When
Yeah,
I love water, and
yeah,
just to be able to move so freely in the water, it just feels beautiful.
yeah, yeah. There's something about that, and I love running, but I don't like the big lot. I love sprinting. I love that sense of speed and
Oh, really?
yeah, but I don't like trudge. My knees hurt, you know. Like, you know, respect to people who run on treadmills. I think, oh, doesn't that just hurt? It's boring, but for some people that's what they, you know, they're like, oh yeah, get in the zone and it gets meditative, and then that's awesome. So yeah, each their own, as they say.
Exactly.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
So, hey, I noticed that you had some dresses for sale on your website. Do you still have some, or are you still in the business and you're still creating?
I gosh, I have a lot of dresses in storage that are probably saleable, yes. um, but yeah, that's yeah, I probably should part with them.
Still creating and
Yeah,
still
yeah,
making for the industry?
I do. I am doing probably less dressmaking now. I'm going into more coaching, which was an interesting transition whenever I did, because I was designing and had a retail shop, and any time I did any business course, I'd end up in these courses with all these coaches. It was like, why do I keep being drawn to these things with coaches, and then realize, oh, actually what I'm doing with my staff and with my clients is coaching. Maybe I should, and that's where I got it's the part I love. So going down that track a bit more as
And
well,
clearly,
which
there's
is
a
good
lot of
fun.
people that you used to dance with that could probably use a bit of coaching.
Yeah, 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 exactly. And it's yeah, it's been good, and uh, the sewing is wonderful because I don't know, there's a creativeness to it that I really enjoy. I do a bit of bridal and things like that as well, but depends on who tracks me down. And yeah, like I said before, I have the most neglected Facebook pages ever.
So if people
People
wanted to
find me
track
word of mouth usually.
right.
Yeah.
So if people wanted to track you down, where can they find you?
For costumes and things, that would be Anna Marie Designs. That would be my Facebook page. Otherwise, annaedwards.com.au is my coaching website. There you go. First
Lovely.
official
Well,
plug.
thank you so much for chatting with me. It's been a really amazing insight into the world of dance, and it's been lovely. So I wish you all the best with your coaching and designs. And thanks. Alrighty.
All right, thanks, Liz.